today we are going to be talking about preneurs. What are preneurs? You have intrapreneurs, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and investorpreneurs. That's my own definition. A preneur is someone who's interested about building a business or taking their business serious. That's my definition. And the reason I put these into 4 categories is so that you could identify exactly what kind of preneur you are. See, an intrapreneur works in somebody else's business, but they're really serious about the business of growing personally, professionally, and financially, adding as much value to the business as possible. A solopreneur works for themselves. They're serious about building their business. They're serious about achieving their level of success while they pursue their passion, doing the thing that aligns with their skill set. An entrepreneur is someone who understands how to build a business around their passion, creating value for others, and scaling it to create maximum impact. An investorpreneur is somebody who takes their investment money serious. They treat it like a business. So many people give other people their money to invest, and they don't understand what their money's supposed to be doing for them while they're working. Now, this is really important because it talks about being intentional. It talks about having education. It talks about knowledge and applying all that in order to have your money work for you while you're working for your money. Now, the beautiful thing is this, and by the way, I bring this up because I've had so many people approach me that say, when I save enough money, I'm going to buy property. Or when I save enough money, I'm going to do this, that, or the other thing. But they don't know what this amount of money or the right amount of money is for what they want their money to do for them in the future. So being an investorpreneur, someone who treats their dollars, their investments, like it's a business. They understand how their money needs to work for them while they're working for their money so the money can create leverage within their financial life. So I've created these 4 quadrants because I think what's important for people to know is how do I succeed and what are the characteristics of each quadrant. So if you're an intrapreneur, somebody who works for somebody else, but you know that you can create a huge impact and a huge cash flow to yourself, then you should learn to be an investorpreneur so that while you're working and trading your time for that money, and this, I just had an Instagram live with a doctor who's a neurologist who says, look, I am figuring out and finding a way to max out every moment for every reimbursement so that I can make as much money as possible. But then the question is while he or she is doing that, what is their money doing for them? How intentional, how educated are they on getting their money to work for them? In this guy's particular case, he was going to work for the next 5 or 10 years to save up enough money to go buy a couple condos. That means you've lost the power and the leverage of compounding money working for you for 5, 7, or 10 years before you put that money to work. You've just wasted 5, 7, 10 years. This is what I love about the kind of work that I'm doing and that Grant Cardone's doing, because in Cardone Capital, you could be putting 10 grand a pop in there and letting it grow while you're working. Cash on cash returns, plus you get an internal rate of return. Like, that's an educated decision. So what are the returns I want to get? Who should I invest the money with? How can I trust them? How do I know they know what they're doing? That's learning to be a sophisticated investorpreneur while you're generating your cash flow as an intrapreneur. Now, being an intrapreneur and understanding in bigger context what you want to do with your life and your career and your financial aspirations is really important because you're either learning while you're working about what kind of things you could do differently or more impactfully where you're at, or one day when you have your own business, so that when you make the move from working for somebody else to working for yourself, you've learned both the great things that you should be doing to create value and the things that you've learned in somebody else's environment that you would never do if you're either in charge in that environment or when you start your own business. So the intentionality that you bring to being an intrapreneur while you're learning to grow yourself personally, professionally, financially, and create impact, that temperature where you're all in doing it with the highest level of cultural, operational, and financial impact. Learning from that so that when you go start your own business as a solopreneur and you build that business up, you have those reference points. Or if you skip the solopreneur business and you go straight to acquiring a business that's already in place and you become an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur usually means, though, you start something and you build it versus being a professional operator or a CEO where you buy something and you manage it. So understanding, are you going to go to building phase or are you going to go to managing phase, right? This is a really important thing because the temperature that you build inside of your own body while you're pursuing your personal, professional, and financial goals will dictate what you carry over the seriousness to whatever you go to do.